And we are live.
Hi,
Hello, Dasha.
Dad!
I love it. I love it. Okay, so before we go into it, right, I need to do a quick introduction. Hello, friends. Welcome to Music Nation Speaks, where we talk to musicians about their music journey, the impact of music, and also a little bit about the music industry. And today we have the one and only Dasha Logan.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in.
For tuning in.
Tuning.
Okay, before we get into your music journey, right? How has this MCO been for you? And yeah.
Uh, hmm. Well, what is it? It's been 38 days since we've been in quarantine officially,
Yeah.
and it's been like the long. I'm sure everybody knows it's been like the longest Monday ever. And it's different for musicians because Monday is generally a Sunday. Well, to
Yes.
work, Monday is a Monday, but also because every day could be a work day, so every day is. So yeah, it's been okay. It's been all right. Um, I think the only thing I'm worried about is how we're gonna deal with the MCO ending by this point.
True. Yeah. I think even after it ends also, it's like they are gonna lift it up phase by phase.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. But do you think like you've gotten enough rest so far?
No, no, not at all. I think as I think my body clock hasn't shifted. Like I'm so used to the sleeping at 3, waking up at 10 routine. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm also trying to keep it in a way. So I'm trying to not get used to sleeping at 10, waking up at 5, or waking up at 7. Trying not to get into that flow because if I do, then there goes my social life.
It's like jet lag 24/7.
Yeah, and like since after my shows, I hang around till like maybe an hour, and then go supper, just doing the usual
Yes.
thing. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so if I get too used to having the sleep at 12, wake up at 9 o'clock lifestyle, then I might shift. Shift. My life might change forever.
The new normal.
I know, what is the new norm? I mean, that's something I'm looking forward to finding out when this is all over. What is the new norm?
Right? Especially for our music industry also, it's like, so what's gonna happen? But I think one thing that I'm really, really happy is to see everybody going online. So I can like literally like gig hopping on social media.
Yes, it's the number one way to be able to watch everybody's show finally. So I can finally catch, like, usually if it's it's a weekend and I'm singing somewhere and you're singing somewhere,
Yeah.
and V singing somewhere and Elvira singing somewhere. You can't be 4 places at once. But
Yeah.
now I can. Now I'm like, I've got 4 tabs open. I'm like, I'm watching everyone's show.
Tablet, phone, laptop.
Yeah, everything's on. I'm like, who are you listening to? Everybody, yes, yes, all of them. I'm listening to all
At the same time.
at the same time. Don't ask too many questions.
Okay. So we have to get to why did you start singing and how did you start singing?
Let's see. I,
For those of you who don't know, Dasha is from Penang, but she's here now. Yeah.
I'm born and raised in Penang.
Mhm.
I moved to KL maybe when I was 24, so about I'm not going to say how many years ago. Now you can mathematically like decide how old I am. Let's say calculate. Let's see. So I'm from Penang. I moved to KL about 10 years ago. No, 8 years ago, and I started singing when I was in kindergarten. Kindergarten is actually when I can remember. But in
Baby
kindergarten when they make it,
Dasha.
yeah. I mean, I'll send you some photos of me just jamming along to sound of music, and I was just always singing. It was always something I think I knew and my family knew I liked to do.
Yeah.
So I think we had karaoke mics since I was very young in the house, and of course, back then I didn't have karaoke, so it was just plugged into nothing. And because my father was also a singer, so I was kind of always just drawn to that. So I started singing since I was really young, and I never thought I would do anything else. I was never. Actually, that's true. But most of my life, I was inclined to become a singer. So.
What were you gonna be besides singing?
Then I'd be a reporter or a writer or something on the creative line. Yes. I studied mass comm. Like I could do PR or marketing or creative writing, or I'm just naming all my classes now. But
journalism.
And there was also like law. Like I hardly made it for that class because I was working. Aha!
Working, like, as in you started singing already, like, professionally while you were studying?
When I was in college, I was singing as well. So law was at night. So classes were from 7:30 to 9:30.
PM.
PM. But I started singing at 9:30, so I had to leave college by 9.
Right.
So on my first day, whenever a lecturer comes in, I'll be like, "Yes, I have to work." So he would actually see me at about 8:45 doing makeup in the class. And then I'd be like, "Sir, I want to go to the bathroom." And then I'll come back. Purposely, I'll come back all dressed up. Like, "All right, sir, I gotta go. Bye, guys." And then just like get my glitter and go to work.
But, so that was in, where did you go to college?
In Penang. I was in KDU Penang.
Oh, so you started singing in Penang first?
Yeah. I was so when I was 17, I was in national service, and when I came back from national service, I went to Form 6. And during my Form 6, I started working in this little Brazilian restaurant in Penang called Brazil 68, and it was serving churrascaria. So I didn't know what churrascaria meant. I didn't know what Brazilian cocktails were. So that whole situation that opened up a whole new fun lifestyle for me. Just working in Brazil and like learning new drinks and singing in Spanish and Portuguese. So yeah, that's fun.
So that was Friday. Your first official gig?
Yes, so that was my first proper professional gig. And my first ever performance, I crashed and burned. I had like the weirdest I was on the weirdest balance of being nervous and very self-confident. So I started dancing for no reason. I can't dance. And I only had like a keyboardist who was playing with MIDI files. So there was like electric drums and everything. So we had no control of the instrumental, so you kind of had like only so many bars, and I was still like dancing, and like the song stopped. I was like, "Oh, okay. Thank you." It's my first ever show.
So from there, what have you learned?
Well, I've learned a lot. So that one is like chill. Don't get too excited. Sometimes you can get excited, but don't get too excited if you don't know what's happening. But I was in that restaurant for maybe 2 years, and it was such an amazing platform to get over stage fright. So of course, it's one of those. The more you practice, the better you get at it. So I was on stage twice a week for 3 hours, and just learned how to deal with singing to an empty room, singing to a crowded room, because all these things happen until today. You might get a packed venue, you might get an empty venue, and it always, sometimes it can affect your morale and your energy and things like that. But performing in this venue taught me so much about that. And how you have to do shows like this in order to do more shows. So it's like, so yeah,
right.
Word of mouth.
Right?
Yes, and word of mouth it's like, this is when Facebook just came out, but nobody's posting anything. But I think the girl who I sang my first private function was at her wedding, and she's my friend on Facebook, and she often tell me, she's like, remember when you sang at my wedding? I was like, I remember your wedding so well. I remember it. In my head, it looks like a dream because I think I remember it differently than it actually happened. But yeah, it's like was the first professional gig, like first private gig. So it just kind of snowballed from there. And I was about
Right.
17.
Oh, so precious. Oh, and that was still back in Penang lah.
Mm. Yeah.
So before we talk about you moving to KL, like how was what were your family's reaction when you told them that, like you decided, or what was the deciding factor that made you really, like, oh, I really want to do singing, for the rest of my life, or that kind of thing. And I mean, I've met your brother, I think twice now, and like I can see that he's super super supportive. So what are the what was it like?
Well, I think my whole family had no doubt that I liked to sing. They knew I
Yeah.
loved to sing because I was singing since like I started in kindergarten and I continued standard one, standard two, and also in all these schools, right? If they're like, oh, your father's a singer, it means you must be a singer as well. So they kind of threw me in the choir, whether I wanted to, but they kind of went like, you're in the choir whether you like it or not. And all the singing competitions in school, so it was kind of like part of my life since forever. And my mom, and this is before handphone times, right? So my mom would come and support me since young. And
Yeah.
in secondary school, when she got her Nokia 3310 and all that stuff, she used to call my dad and hear me singing my solos or choir, whatever. And
Oh.
of course, I didn't know what it meant to be like, you're the soloist in the choir. I just thought because I knew the song, they would let me sing it.
Yeah.
The song I remember singing was Somewhere Out There from American Tail. So yeah, and it's really cool. So yeah, sure, I know. But then everybody's like, "Oh my god, you got the solo!" It's like, what does that mean? This isn't Glee. And that time, no Glee lah. But now it kind of like sounds like a Glee thing. Um, yeah, and then when I started singing a bit more professionally, so this gig I was talking to you about, it was actually my brother's friend who got me that first gig in Brazil 68. And
Ah.
so my brother got me that gig, and my mom has just always been super like, do what you want.
Dasha, go.
Yeah. My dad was a bit more like, oh, because he was in the he was in the music business as well. So he was a bit more like, I don't know if I want this for my daughter, really. But he was also very supportive. He came for my shows. He sang with me a couple of times. Oh, there's an echo on my station.
Hi, Janet.
Hi, Janet. Okay. Echo. Okay.
You got her.
Okay. Oh, I see what she means. I can hear it on me. The two Dashas. Because one Dasha's never enough. Sorry, Janet.
Mengada you.
Yeah, I know. Hi, you. No, there's three of us. So hi, you three. But I can grab an external mic and see if that works. Actually, let me just see if let's see if my
As to the stadium feel.
Sorry. Let me try and see if this will be better. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, Janet, let me know if this is better. Oh, I can still hear to me sometimes.
I feel like.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Oh,
That's a cave.
Hello.
Most things can be solved.
Can be solved by yelling for 5%. Yes.
No. Let's keep this.
So
PG.
milk the duck in the face. Yes. Shahar is to be proud of my little burst of outrage. Yes. Okay, so
yes.
Okay,
so your brother got you.
So as I was saying,
Yes.
I got super distracted. Getting into singing. So my brother got me into singing. My mother is always there for my first shows. Until now, she's still watching me perform as much as she can. She always gives me feedback. Actually, I'm really lucky because a lot of the people who come watch me perform have given me feedback throughout the years, and I'm a very annoying person to talk to sometimes when it comes to giving feedback. Sometimes I can accept it. Sometimes I'm like, just what do you have to say? What's that now? But I think for some reason, when it comes to genuine feedback, I'm very perceptive. I try to be as perceptive as possible.
Yeah. And then so I guess that, like having that amount of support from your family, from your backbone, right? Like, did it make it easier to say, my time in Penang is done, let me try KL?
Um,
Or were you dragged here?
oh no, I think it was an interesting balance because I was doing shows in Penang, and I was doing some shows in KL, not many, maybe just 2 or 3. And after national service, I would come down to KL and see my dad and my brother a lot. Um, but okay,
Oh, they were working here
skipping forward
already?
to, sorry?
They were working here
No,
already.
no, I was just working in Penang. Sorry, I was studying in Penang, so I was taking the bus back and forth. But while I was in college, I did an internship in KL. So I moved to KL and I stayed with my brother, and um, I went to work. My brother took me to work on his bike, and
Oh.
there was like I wasn't singing at all, and I wasn't working here, so there was no connection to KL. But once that was all done, I started working here a bit more. But talking about KL's performances, my first ever performance in KL was in No Black Tie. It was with Adil Johan's quartet, AJQ, and
Hey,
that was when
girl.
no, that was when it was Adil and Terence on keyboards and Steve on drums and Hiro Maekawa on bass and Adil on saxophone, of course, and Wan Gigi was on guitar. And
Wow.
for some reason, the whole performing in Penang thing, I started off very borderline nervous, borderline super self confident to KL, and I couldn't find No Black Tie because it was so hidden, and
Hidden.
Penang had no idea what is a hidden bar or speakeasy or whatever. And then we walked in, and it was this amazing club, which I've never seen before, anything like this before.
Yeah.
Went in for a sound check. I was so nervous because I had one rehearsal with the band, and I had no idea about how to perform in terms of mic control or what a monitor was for. I was just like super clueless. But yeah, Adil guided me through it, and the bar was so amazing. The crowd was so amazing. There's all these support from Penang there as well. So
Oh.
so after that performance, then we did a performance in Alexis as well, and then going back to Penang, and then the whole coming down, moving to KL for my internship. And then suddenly, after the internship was over, it started to snowball a bit more. Then there was more shows in KL than there were in Penang. That's kind of when I went, I think it doesn't make sense for me to go back to Penang, really. And then it just turned into like I just suddenly just lived in KL. It wasn't even like a discussion. It was just, oh, I live here now.
Like, bam, I'm here.
Yeah, thanks, bro, for letting me crash on your couch. I'll be crashing here for the remainder of the year. Yay.
So then, during internship, you were like maybe early 20s?
Yeah, I was like 22 because I finished SPM when I was 17.
Yeah.
And then 18, 19, I was in Form 6.
Yeah.
And then 2021, I was in college. So 22, I would probably be doing my internship.
Oh. Oh.
Very good.
But how was it like? Like, I mean, for me, I guess I had kind of a similar experience because I moved from Kuantan, right? And it was like, okay, I'm here to study now. I'm in KL. Bam, next day, okay, I'm here. But for you, I think it was more gradual, and you have family here as well. You had your brother, and then it was more of like, okay, I'm here for an internship, and let's see how. And then shows coming in. But how was it like? Like your first like gig or first month or first year of gigging in KL, and like playing with amazing musicians, and then being the adik in the group. Sometimes it's like, what am I doing? Like for me, I felt like that lah. But how was it like for you, and how did you navigate it?
Okay, let's see. Well, first of all, when I did my internship was in KL, I was working for a magazine. So I was doing a 9 to 5-ish. And
Oh.
yes, I was out of the music scene for a while, which made me realize how much I loved it. And the weird thing is that because my internship was let's just say here in the timeline, everything that happened before that were shows in Black Tie and Alexis. And the things that happened after that kind of were like really much bigger shows. So before the internship, I did No Black Tie, I did Alexis. I had a little taste here and there of performing for a KL crowd, international crowd. But that was also after having about 4 years of experience in Penang, performing to the Penang crowds. And so I got a hang. I got into the swing of things. But oh my goodness, Joe, if I tell you the kinds of songs I've sung, because I had no idea how to like tailor a song list to a crowd, I was doing the weirdest songs.
Like what?
Like, do you know some Pink Cadillac or Desperado? I was doing Desperado. I was doing Crying Eyes. I was just doing the weirdest range of music from whatever to whatever. It's just like I just did whatever last year. And I remember people asking, "What's your sound?" Like,
I just
so Penang crowd was interesting because there were not many performers in Penang, not many singers in Penang. There was maybe like 5 or 6 singers doing the circuit. So it was literally Penang, and then 1 or 2 shows in KL, like No Black Tie and Alex, and where I would have the same kind of energy.
Yeah.
I have the same kind of energy in Penang in KL because I didn't know any better. Like it didn't feel like I was working with like the Bikers or music. I didn't know who Steve Nanda was. I didn't know what it meant to be working with sorry, distracted. I didn't know what it felt like. I didn't know what it meant. Oh, you're working with One Gig Hill, you're working with Hiro Maekawa, and I didn't know what these names meant. Because people who were already in KL like already saw the scene and already learned the names, already knew who was who. I had no idea, I didn't know what. So when I worked with them, I was just like, okay, cool. So here's my time to sing. Here's my turn to sing. I sing lah. So I just made sure I learned the song.
Yeah.
Sorry, just joke. I think there's an echo because I'm talking too fast for my microphone to pick up, and my microphone's like. It's gonna slow down.
Slow down a bit, yes.
Slow down a little bit. So I just learned the songs I was supposed to learn, and I sang them as best as I knew how. And if you ask Adil, he will tell you how I would just come up on stage and just like, bah! And then get off. And he's like, dude, you couldn't like just chill into the song. It's like, no, sorry. It's like, bah! Now when I listen to it, I'm like, Dasha, couldn't you just chill in that song? You're supposed to be chilled and like try to be cool. So I'm just gonna bah. But anyway. So that was before the internship. I did the internship and I missed singing so much, and I lost my voice because I hadn't been exposed to air conditioning so much, and I hadn't been drinking enough water, and it was stressful. So after that, after my internship was done, my first gig, this is I just got a manager, something like a manager. She's this woman who started getting gigs for me, and she got me F1. That was like my first big gig. It was not the F1 concert, it was the F1 dinner. So it was the dinner show. So Michael Schumacher was there, and Nico Rosberg was there. And of course, I had no idea what that meant. I knew Michael Schumacher. And my brother was like, "Oh my God, you're there!" So I was like, "Yes, come and be my assistant for the evening." So my brother was my assistant. And it was me and Nabil, and Daniel Verhoeven was playing. And
Oh.
and I had Hero. I actually had Amir as well for a BMW show to take over when Hero wasn't available. So these were the band I started with in KL. And yeah, so after that, after the internship, that's when I did a few more gigs with help from my manager. Started getting weddings and like word of mouth spread, just like show. And then I went to London for a couple of months.
How was that?
It was very humbling. Going to London was one of the most humbling things that have ever happened to me. Because in Malaysia, people don't hear me sing. They look at me and they go, "You are Ali Cat's daughter, so you must sing. You must be able to sing." And that's without even hearing me. So I'm like, oh, I don't know. Do you think I can sing?
Wait. Who was your dad again?
So my dad is Logan from the Ali Cats, right? So there's two of them. Logan. So they're like, "The Logan's daughter, you must sing."
I see. Okay, so this is I never knew. I learned something new about you today.
What?
This is why you have to do homework before you host the podcast.
No, this is why it's fun to do podcast. You learn things on the go.
Right. Oh, I didn't know. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So for those of you who don't know, now you know as well.
For those of you who don't know, now you know. I'm waiting for you, Trevor Noah, to sing.
So how did you get into what were you in London for, and how was the process like preparing to go, that kind of thing?
Okay, so I finished my internship, and for some reason I decided, it was like a Thursday, and I decided I want to travel one day. I thought, why do I don't need a visa? Then I went on to AirAsia. It all happened in a day. I went to AirAsia, and I saw flights to like London were at a reasonable amount, and I'm like, oh, interesting, a lot of interesting by then. So I spoke to my mom who was cooking. Then I spoke to my brother. Then I spoke to my manager, and then I was like, what would it mean if I went to London? Like, what would it mean for my career? So my manager said, just go for fun, sure. My brother said, if you want to go, he has friends and he's got really good. His best friend lived there. I'll talk to Kevin and he can take care of you, and I'll talk to Mom. So, and I also spoke to my mom's twin sister just to get like them purge, because my mom says no. I'll be like, Auntie, can you help me continental? So I did all that. So basically, everything worked out, and I went to London, and I did my research. It's like, okay, jazz venue in London is of course Ronnie Scott's and the Spice of Life and the Club 606. Like, okay, cool, I'll go to some of these places. And I remember going to Ronnie Scott's for their jam session the first night. It was not what I expected. It was crazy.
Yeah.
And
in what way?
As in, it was just consistent talent. For a jam session, like there were tons of students and people were just there because it was warm and so cold. So it's warm and people just dancing. And there was like this cabaret dancer who just decided to show up and started dancing. I'm like, where am I? What is happening? Like, what is going on?
Did you go alone?
I went alone, but I stayed with my brother's friends, so I only traveled alone. And then one of my friends, he's a bassist who I met in KL. He lived there. His name is Peter Randall, and he played bass for Anthony Strong, pianist. Really, they were such nice guys. They helped me out a lot. But Peter took me to Ronnie Scott's again the second time, and he introduced me to musicians. What's the sound? I look at the clock. Is it coming from my side or from your side? No,
I think it's from your side.
Where is it coming from? Sorry. Let me check. Oh, okay. So my watch.
What is it?
I suddenly had a timer, so I was like, oh, it's time to have some water.
What? Oh, same color.
Drink you're having.
Ribena.
Ribena, just about a fancy glass.
Yes.
Yeah, so Peter introduced me to some really cool musicians in London, and he took me to Ronnie Scott, and I had such a good time just chatting to musicians, and you meet the most random people in Ronnie Scott's. Like you meet celebrities there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so it was such a good experience, but nobody would let me sing because I'm just like this random girl who's like, "Can I sing, please?" And the thing is, like, so they would let me sing. But one night, my good friend Sharif, he said to me, he messaged me like the night one, and I was like really upset. I said, "No one lets me sing. I haven't sung in a month, and I'm kind of, when you don't sing in such a long time, I get really sad."
Yeah.
A decent amount of Ribena. Thank you. It's a good amount of Ribena. Shaharis. Anyway. um, words.
So your friend
Words. Yes. So he said,
texted
you
you.
know what? Go. The next time you go, dress up like you're there to perform. Don't go. I have been going in jeans and sport shoes. He's like, don't look like you're a little girl just trying to sing. I was like, okay. He's like, just dress like a performer. I was like, okay. So I dressed up and I went quite early, and it's like the guy who was in charge, the host.
Yeah.
And I seen him every Wednesday. I was like, can I sing? Every Wednesday I was like, can I sing? He said, nah, not tonight, because usually they don't get singers in, and I actually know they don't. But that Wednesday, I was there with a friend of mine, and she said, name's Ijeoma, and she said, so Dasha's here on tour, and she's leaving back to Malaysia next week. I'm like, yes, I'm touring. Sure. He's like, yeah, okay, sure. So early on in the night, he makes an announcement. He's like, you've got to sing all the way from Malaysia. Her name is Dasha, and she's going to be singing us a lovely tune. I don't know what accent that is, but anyway. And I go, she's going to be singing. It's a lovely tune. So I go up and I sing The Nearness of You.
Uh-huh.
And what's interesting is that I told them I sing in C, but the problem is that I didn't clarify whether the first chord was C or the song was in C. So I think the pianist started a little solo intro, but in a different key.
Different key.
So when it came to the part to sing, it was so high that I had to sing the song mostly in falsetto. But I was kind of like too late for me to go like, no, stop. I really don't want to do that. So I just like, yeah, whatever. I'm just gonna go with it. So I sang
that is
it.
the worst feeling.
So I just was like, you know what? Just do it. Just do it. You know, just do it. So I just
Yeah.
sang it, and it was fun. The pianist did a solo, the guitarist did a solo, and finished. And I walked off stage. I was like, oh, I can get hit by a bus, and I'll be fine. I'm just so happy. Yay! I'm gonna throw this pen away. I was just so happy that I got to sing.
Yeah.
But the best thing about it is that the guitarist was this amazing guitarist named Robin Banerjee, and he was Amy Winehouse's guitarist.
Oh, okay.
So he came out to me. He said, "Oh, you're a very good singer," and I said, "Oh, thank you very much." And then Ijeoma told me that he plays for Amy Winehouse. Well, that's good to know. And yes, I was on this amazing high. But the thing is that until that day, just before that Wednesday, when everyone had said no, you can't sing here. Even I went to Spice of Life, which is another venue. They were like, you came on the wrong day. I went to a bunch of other open mic nights, and the queue was so long to sing that by the time it was my turn, the jam session was over. So I was like super disheartened, and like any kind of confidence I had on stage in Malaysia, it was just like I was I was um I was very humbled, and then I realized that it's like it's hard work, and it's not just that you're talented. You've got to really put in the time and the effort.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter where you go, you always start here, and it's
Yeah.
how hard you work to get there. Like you could be there in one place, but when you go somewhere new, you still have to
Start from the bottom again.
But you still do this thing, and the best thing though is that you know where to start. As long as you know where to start, then you can make your way up.
Yep.
So yeah, that
So
whole
how
London
long were
experience.
you? Yeah. How long were you in London?
First time I was there for 5 weeks.
Wow.
I was there for the first wedding for William and Kate's wedding. I slept through it. I thought it would start at 11, then it would start at like 7 or 8, something like that. So it started pretty early. Then, yeah.
And then the second time I saw that you released something there, right?
So,
Uh-huh.
yeah, interesting enough is that the manager I had, so she introduced me to this guy in Malaysia named Sam, and Sam has friends in all the right places, and he has a friend in England named Dean, and so the second time I told my manager and I told Sam I want to go to London again just to go, and Sam and manager said talk to Dean, this guy named Dean. And I'm like, yeah, okay, sure. So they passed my number to Dean, and I met Dean in the very prestigious Soho Town Club House. Ooh, Soho Club House. Couldn't find a door. Oh, hell. So went there, had a carrot juice. I don't know why my dad points, but I had a carrot juice. And he said, he was very nice. And he said, I'm just going to send you some beats, and we'll just see what happens. You don't have to don't stress out about it. Just take the beats and see what happens.
Yeah.
So they sent me the beats, and it took me about 2 weeks to write 2 songs, which is now Leave Your Man and Cleverly.
Yeah.
But I met the producer who had a little studio in Tottenham Hill, which was where there were raids the year before. There were big fights and raids and things going on there. So, but by then it was all like, very happening area, and it was this tiny studio, like so small. And he led me into this little kitchenette. And thinking about it now, I was just like this 24-year-old girl hanging out with a bunch of adults. Didn't know, like a dodgy end of London. Nice. Like, okay, but it was so much fun, and
Yeah.
I had the lyrics ready, I had the ideas ready, kind of just went at it. And Cleverly was born, and Leave Your Man was born, and we had people come in and help with ideas and production, and and then I just kind of left it to them. I didn't know, like Cleverly only was released maybe maybe 4 years after that. It was interesting how they placed it as well. There was also about placing that I didn't know about. You could record a song 10 years ago and then release it 10 years later because it was the right time. Like, wow. There's so much to it and so much to think about it. You just
Right. Like most of us, we just think like, okay, after finish the song, go into the studio, bam, release. But the timing and the production and the marketing, everything has to be planned quite round, like quite appropriately.
Yes. So I didn't know. It's like it's not the right time for this song. It's not what's happening now. If you came up with what was it in 2014? Like what was the hit kind of songs to go for? And if that wasn't what was in demand, then why release it? It's Like you're
Yeah, yeah.
you're psyching yourself up for failure,
Right.
which unless you don't care, which also is okay, because if you kind of just want your music out,
Yeah.
but also it's an interesting, it's a delicate
Balance.
balance. Yeah. So
Yeah.
look at John Mayer. You know, he had all these amazing albums, and then when he released Your Body's a Wonderland, oh, I know John Mayer. And like, oh, did you not know he has like 2 albums before Your Body's a Wonderland? Oh, oh.
Nobody knows.
Yeah, and then so that also works. Just like what the guy's name? The King, like Kings of Leon.
Uh-huh.
They had 2 albums before Sex on Fire was out, and then
Yeah.
everybody's like, oh, I love Kings of Leon. So it's also kind of just like record, just keep recording your music. You know, release it, don't release it, whatever. Just make sure you keep writing, putting stuff out there.
Yeah.
It's also
Yeah.
good practice. So depends on
And right, depends on your.
sorry, it also depends on your strategy. But look at
Mm.
Adele. Adele released 19, and it was only famous in England mostly. Like I had no
Mm-hmm.
idea who Adele was, and then I heard Chasing Pavements, and I'm like, okay, cool,
Yeah.
this album's cool. And then when Rolling in the Deep came out, and everybody's like,
Boom.
yeah,
Exactly.
sorry.
Exactly.
So it's kind of like yes.
Yeah. And then, like, so after that release, right? I guess you were back in KL already, or you were back already before it released. And how was that like, like being in a place where, where we were all, or where you were all, um, it feels like a small fish in a big pond, right? And then coming back to KL, you know, we have a really really nice music industry, but at the same time it's like you kind of know who like our industry is quite small. So how does it feel to come back, and then what has changed in your perspective?
But I was only in London for a few months at a time, so it's like maybe
Yeah.
2 months came back, 4 months came back. But
Mm.
so I've always just wanted to be a small fish in a big pond. That was always the goal. If I was a big fish in a small pond, then it's time to get out of the pond.
Mm.
So in KL though, until today, I still feel like I'm still not a big fish in a small pond, because it's kind of niches.
Yep.
So in like in one school of fish, you could be a big fish, but in another school, you're nothing. You're not even there. You're not even the same water. So in Malaysia, what's awesome is that there's still a lot we can experiment with, and there's a lot of things we can do.
Yeah.
And it doesn't sound like an old lady lah, but music has changed also since I was writing and being all creative. So now music has changed the things that I'm like I really like. I really I'm comfortable with, like the new stuff that's out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay, and I see all these young kids come to jam sessions and they're doing their thing, and I'm like, yeah, the song's really good. Like, I really love the songwriting and all that. But, I don't know how to do the swag, because I don't know how to be like swaggy, like, oh no, swaggy. I don't have any swag at all. I don't even know if that's the right word to use. But you see me, I'm just like,
Yeah. It's just 2 steps and we're good.
it's like, am I even doing this right? I watch myself on stage and like, what are you doing? Stop trying to dance, woman, dude.
No, but you have to. It's part of your package.
Kind of like on stage, it's kind of like I just don't know what I'm doing. I'm just letting myself just do whatever
Yep.
stage Dasha wants to do. Like, and I'll watch myself. I was like, what are you thinking? Like, sometimes I impress. I'm like, oh wow, not bad.
You can pull that off.
Yeah, girl, like, what movie was that? Then sometimes I watch myself. I was like, oh, don't dance, don't dance, don't dance, don't dance, don't dance, don't dance.
But what do you think of, like, um the jam session scene, and
I think
like
jam sessions are so important. I think
right?
doesn't matter where you are in the world, the first thing you don't have to speak the language. You just need to go for a jam session.
Yep,
If you're a musician, if you want to
yep.
make friends, or if you want to know the scene, or if you want to know where the best chicken rice is in, I don't know, in Germany, you go to a jam session, you bump into Steve Nanda, and then he'll tell you where to go. You just don't know where you're gonna end up. This is good to go to jam session. You always meet people at jam sessions. I love jam sessions.
And I think that's how we met also, right? At one of the jam sessions.
Joe, I honestly don't remember how we met. I just know it was a long time ago before you left. It could have been Alexis, like as in during a performance. It could have been a jam. I can't remember.
I don't
Cannot
know.
remember.
My biggest impression was of you is at obviously at No Black Tie, one of the shows I think, but I think I only pluck up the courage to talk to you at one of the jam sessions. You know,
So you say that, I'm like, what? You don't have to plug up girls. Talk to me.
no, back then, like you're, a music college student, and then you're like, oh my god, people like you, like Elvira, like Evie,
It's like, oh,
and then yeah, so it's really really cool that I think I agree with what you're saying. Jam sessions are so important. That's where you bring community together. That's how you make friendships, and that's how we get to, like get jobs as well. Like, oh, I'm not free today. Can you, replace da 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 da?
yeah. I think jam sessions. The one thing people don't realize is that
Mhm.
if you're a musician, you should come prepared to a jam session.
Yeah,
As in prepared somehow, like have a song in mind. This one thing as a singer
mm.
I always have a problem with. Go to a jam session and I'm like, oh no, what song do I sing? I'm like, no idea what song to sing.
Yeah,
Now I'm lost. And then there's only a few songs that you peep, like everybody just the same songs at jam sessions, right? And to go
yeah,
there with a whole new song that you could show up with charts, but then also if you show up with shouts, so it's just like, oh, here are charts, wow, hello. Then you also got to think about who are the people that you're being paired with.
yes,
You got to think that, okay, you know what, like if it was in like a band I knew, so I'm like, oh, I know uh, the bassist strength is here and the drummer strength is here, or maybe the pianist isn't as strong in this song, then I can work it out, not work it, I can work it out. But
yeah,
if I was in a different country and I didn't know what was what or who was who, then I'll try and keep it simple, right?
yeah, yeah,
And that's when it's good to be prepared with one song that for sure 1000% everybody know, because it's only got 3 chords. If they don't know, so you can tell them,
yes.
and it's good to have that on your fingertips. At least one song
Hmm.
where you know the chords and you can say so. And
Hmm.
also and if you want to have one song where it's like, I remember one time I went up and I did a cappella Green Eyes by Erica
Yeah,
Badu because I didn't expect anyone to know the song.
yeah,
So I just kind of went up and I was like, just let me sing it. And I sang it. And of course, the like 2 people knew it. So they were like, oh,
yeah,
and I was like, okay, cool. So it worked out. I went forward with that.
yeah,
But it's just good to have these little things at your fingertips. And it's also where I go to hunts for musicians. Like,
yeah.
I'll hear a bassist, I'm like, oh wow, who's that? I never heard this bass before. Then like, oh, I'm just here. You talk to them, and you find out just you're on visits, and then you get to know them, and then the next time you're in town, they play for you, or the next time you go to wherever they are based, you get to know the music scene with them. So jam sessions, it's important, and I try to go as
Yes.
much as possible.
Yeah, I know. And do you feel okay? The first few times when you were at a jam session, like for me, I think I felt like my heart was on the floor. I couldn't feel my fingers, and it's going through it then. Like like you're like, oh my god, what have I done? But now I think I'm so happy that I went through that. Like having bombed, having like sang out of tune, like don't know how to lead a band or that kind of thing, to like kind of have a sense of direction. Like I think that's so important, and you can only learn it in that um, in that setting.
I think you're 100% correct.
Yeah.
because we're all gonna make mistakes on stage. Everybody's gonna
Mm-hmm.
make mistakes on stage. And the amount of times I've made such vocal mistakes or arrangement mistakes where I'm singing one thing, the band's singing another thing, and everybody's looking at each other like, you
What?
know, and this wasn't just a jam sessions, and these were proper performances. But
Mm-hmm.
as long as you learn from them, and then you don't just try really hard not to make the same mistake again.
Yeah.
And like a jam session, um, sometimes it's very much knowing your audience. I think whether jam session or not a jam session, it's also knowing your audience.
Yeah.
So a jam session is supposed to be fun. First of all,
Yeah.
it's supposed to be fun. Like there is going to be people who is completely playing the wrong thing. You might sing a completely whole different thing. Like some jam sessions where there's a modulation coming, but there was one version that there was no modulation and all that. So it's always good to have that in your head. Like just for example, the
Yeah.
song "Rock with You," which is a
Oh,
favorite jam session, but a
yes.
lot of the time you've got to clarify from the start if you're going to modulate
Or
like,
not.
or not, so that the band knows, like, so they can discuss amongst themselves.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna modulate to D, or we're not gonna modulate at all. So it's just good to hear. So it's good to know the song before you call it out. Like some musicians and some singers will go up there and be like, "Oh, I just want to do this song," not realizing that it has two modulations. So a jam session is not a karaoke session. So there's also that to remember.
True.
It is a place to be, is to have a musical expression. Yes.
Yeah. And it's also kind of like an unspoken audition.
Yeah, I didn't want to say it. Like, it is kind of like
Yeah.
you need to know your audience. You need to know who's in the audience and who might call you. Don't
Yeah.
like if you're just there for fun and it's not like some you're looking for work. If you're just there just for fun. Yeah, let's go out,
Yeah.
have fun. But if you also want to be able to show people what you can do, then know your
Mhm.
audience, and just try to get your stuff and all that. And the
Yeah.
thing about the jam sessions here in Malaysia is that everybody's so open to everything. Like, you
Yeah.
want to jam? Sure. I don't
Let's
need somebody
go.
to tell me you can play. You want to play? Just play. No problem. And it's great. Great.
And the cool thing about this also is that people actually, the hosts and musicians will actually guide you. Like yeah. And I see this with you, see this with Elvira, with Joy, Evie, like uh like people, and obviously Marcus as well. He's the host of Alexis Jam Session, right? Like when someone's lost, or like when they're lost, like he will guide them back, and he will guide the band or the singer, that kind of thing. And I think it's such a nice and supportive community that we have here. Yeah.
What Marcus is when he's on stage is he's a very good band conductor, like a band leader kind of thing. So he makes it
Mhm.
easy for everybody. Um, Elvira does that. So if you have seen Denise Minenfield, she she's a singer. She's amazing, and she just gets on stage, and it's like, this is my band. Like, it could be complete strangers, right? This
Yeah.
is my band. This
Yeah.
is my show, and then she gets everything happening. Like, the band has no
Mm.
idea what's gonna happen, but she just makes it easy for everybody. She's like, "Oh, you do this, you do this, you do this. We're gonna go from the top and the one and the two, and then, like, pow." And that, like, just watching her, like, that is such a, like, that comes from experience as well. So
Right.
it comes from experience and knowing exactly what to say and what to do.
Right.
I've like met a few musicians who can just, like, some singers who can just shout out the chords, like, I want to F minor now, and I want to be flat, blah blah blah, and it just goes, and I'm like,
Whoa.
wow.
Okay.
Okay. And then at the end of it, so be so starstruck, but then starstruck, but still trying to be cool, or like,
Yeah.
oh yes, that was very nice what you did on stage, and then suddenly go like, hey, teach me how you did that. Can you tell me, like, when you've been my best friend, and when you tell me everything that you know, thank you.
Please help me.
Please be my guard.
All right. So from there, I think we've been talking for 55 minutes.
Whew. Yeah, actually,
But we cannot end without, talking about vocal wellness. And also, I mean, before we go there, tell me a little bit about your songwriting process.
Mm.
Mm.
So my songwriting process comes from 100% comes from emotion. So
Ah.
if I don't have something to write about, I won't write.
Mm.
It doesn't have to be my story; it could be somebody else's story, but it has to be something on my mind.
Right.
And on my wall in my bedroom, I have all these post-its with just lines of lyric
Oh,
that I would like to use.
yeah.
So sometimes I'll just look at it and then try to tap into what I was feeling at the time. But if I'm really in a songwriting mood, then no, I'll have like a quiet night to myself, maybe a couple glasses of wine, sit on the piano, and I know I already have something on my mind. I already have somebody on my mind or a story on my mind. Then I'll kind of start playing the 7 chords that I know, like
Same.
like just going around with that and then just seeing what happens. Like I
Yeah.
envy there are people who can play a whole melody and then write lyrics on top of it, or write lyrics and write melody for it. But mine has to come together at the same time. But I have to feel it at the time.
Mm.
And my best friend is my audio recorder on my phone, or I have like a little voice note recorder thingy,
Yeah.
and I just leave that on for like an hour and just see what happens. And then when I
Ah.
listen back and I'm like, oh, I like that. Or if I don't like them, like delete straight away. I delete. So like my phone has all this like idea, blah 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 blah, idea, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
And the so I've got a album coming out soon, and that's just basically that. It's just a bunch of ideas. It's like I got 65.
Yes. And when is it coming out?
Well, thanks to MCO, the recording is being paused. But while I
Mm.
can't be in the studio, then I'm doing a lot of the other stuff. So I'm deciding on album covers and
Mm.
looking for merchandise sites and trying to figure out how many CDs I want to print, if
Mm.
I'm going to print many CDs. It's going to be a lot of course, it's going to be on online platforms like Spotify and stuff like that. The point
Yes.
of this album is just to be accessible everywhere.
Yeah.
So I want it to be like anybody can get it from anywhere. And
Yeah.
but like the limited stuff will be merchandise only because I don't know if anybody knows my style. My style is very. Have you seen those like those long trousers which are like tie trousers, not the really loose kind?
Like the 80s.
Yeah, like the ones that is gutted at the ankles.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's my go-to when I have like when I've got sound check or if I've got rehearsals, I just wear those like a like whatever looking blouse. So I'm gonna make merchandise like that, and then maybe
Oh.
my performance uniform, which is kind of all black, whatever is comfortable to wear.
Right. Right.
Um, so the merchandise might be like limited, and actual CDs might be not MC Hammer pants. I would think Princess Jasmine pants. And then yeah, so the CDs, actual CDs will be limited edition because
Mm.
not many people have CD players, and like
Oh,
cars don't
yeah.
have CD players anymore. So only if you really want the CD, then
Yeah.
sell it. Because CDs, I don't want my CD to be used as something to proper glass on or just part of a bookshelf. I want my CDs to be properly just wanted for
Right.
um yeah, and vinyl, just a couple of vinyls to pass to some DJs and also
Yay.
to add to my wall, which is obviously nothing of mine, it's all my dad's stuff.
Oh, that's so cool.
So just put it up there.
Yeah.
And
Why not?
why not? First official album. Thank you. So it's hard to say a due date, but once this
Yeah.
MCO is lifted and once the band feels comfortable recording, what's great is that we don't have to be in close contact. We can just be like quite far away from each other, but still recording. You're so far away from me. So record,
Disinfect first.
disinfect your everything. Spit my thing. Do all that. Yeah. So
Yeah.
once once my vocals are done, I'm quite sure it won't be long until the mixing, mastering, production, everything will be done.
Right.
My amazing producer Roseanne is he's got
Yes.
ideas. He's got crazy ideas about songs, and the way he thinks is amazing. It's very futuristic. As in, he plans for the next session today about things I didn't even think about. So, very excited. Very excited. So I'm still working on lyrics to some songs. Like it's weird, like 1 or 2 words. Like don't know that's the right word.
Yeah, and it just disrupts the whole flow, right?
Yeah, and like I've sung a couple of it live on Instagram. I'm like, nah, it doesn't work. What's good is I can still change it. So the great thing is that the discussion about lyrics is still really open with Jimmy, my producer. What he thinks is he knows I have a tendency to overthink things. So like, no, I need to fix it. He's like, it sounds fine. I'm a listener and I think it sounds fine. You need to chill, it's fine. Okay, you know what? Okay. I'll let it go.
Let it go.
When I sing it live, it's gonna be a whole different lyric, and that's not a problem.
Right, because sometimes like being in a studio, like recording in a studio and singing your tunes live, like the feeling is very different. So what may work in the studio may not work for live as well,
Exactly.
Yeah.
A lot of it's not a live show. Just sing the song like how it's supposed to be sung. Like,
Yes.
chill song, sing it chill. And it just like never occurred to me. It's like, oh, okay. It's like less, like, oh, less. So eventually I like this close to the mic, like.
Right.
So,
And then you're belting.
Yeah, no belting, like it's just all like very like.
And then all the air in the mic.
Yeah, and all of that makes a song.
Right.
Right, 15 seconds of a great song with a huge beat drop at the 8-second mark. Hire a bunch of midgets to make a funny video. Get to sound favorite. That was next on my list, Shaharis. Nothing new. I already thought of that.
All right, last thing before we leave you to your bottle of wine. I think I heard about your diligent vocal warm-ups before shows. How is it like? I mean, what made you, be so disciplined in that? And are there any vocal tips or vocal wellness tips that you can share?
Let's see. I think it was about 10 years ago when I stumbled upon this vocal warm up, and that was a spur of the moment, like a thing where I hadn't been singing for a long time, and I wanted to sing at home, and I realized I was like, I need to warm up my voice. I need to have something tell me about my voice. I found this thing online which had the most random vocal warm ups ever. So I downloaded that and I listened to it then, and I've been listening to the same thing for the past 8 years. And it makes a big difference with the lubrication in your throat and how much easier it is for you to sing. I mean, when I was younger, I could use my first set as a warm up for my second set. But the older I get, and when it's 2 sets and it's bam, bam, bam from the beginning to end, you want to make sure that every song is good from the start till the ending. There's no time to warm up on stage, warm up off stage. And
like Susie Wong, like it's crazy from the get go. It's like up there already.
Oops, sorry. And also, you start late in places like Susie Wong. You start at 11. You are the main act before the second main act, and there's no time to be like even starting with a song that I think is high tempo is still not as energetic as they want it to be.
Right.
So you need to, get on it and be like push.
Yeah.
So you need to warm up, and also because the venue is smoky, and you could have a glass of water on stage, but it could spill. You don't know, so you gotta just be prepared for everything. So warm up your voice anywhere you go. Like whenever you're gonna sing, and you're going to be testing your vocal cords, Of course, had cheat days where I know I'm doing one song that's really chilled, and then I'm like, okay, I can just do like a really short 5 minute as I'm walking to stage and warm up my voice. But if I know I'm gonna be doing like big stuff, then don't mess around, because people might not know how hard it is to sing the song, but they'll know when you mess up.
Yeah.
There's all these things to remember, that people will not. They're probably gonna let you sing the song, but if you make a mistake, they will remember the mistake.
That mistake. Yeah.
So, okay, make sure you get it right. If you're gonna sing this, I mean, just sing the song, do it right, and try not to half-ass it. Sorry, half-kind it. Also for me is I don't drink anything that's too cold. It's not even ice cubes. A lot of people think I don't take ice. I don't take ice cubes, but I also try not to take anything cold, because if I drink it too fast, it locks up my throat. And also sometimes and also something like the way I drink water. So if I guzzle it down from a bottle, when you're guzzling water down from a bottle, you have a tendency to burp.
Yeah.
And sometimes you get stuck in your throat, and then you start to cough. You're like, and it's because there's a bubble of air stuck in your throat, stuck in your body, and your voice won't get normal again until you burp it out.
You burp it out, yeah.
So you have to wait for the burp to come. So drinking water, drink straw, take small sips, yada yada yada.
Yep.
Also eating before singing, same problem. That your stomach is full. So that
I cannot eat before I sing, I'll start burping.
Also, the food takes up space in your stomach, so your diaphragm has less space to expand. So it'll be different. It'll be different when you sing. Eat before you sing, but this doesn't apply to all singers. A lot of singers I know can eat spicy, have a whole meal. Some singers can't take specific food, but can take other kinds of food. Some singers can take fried food and can smoke and can drink and everything. It's fine. I have to before I start a show, it has to be water, and if I'm nervous, I have a shot just to calm myself down.
Yeah.
I go there and I just do my thing, and then after the first set, I can reassess.
Okay,
what happened? What's gonna happen next?
Yeah.
But when it comes to voice care, the one thing, I've lost my voice a couple of times, 3 times. That's from over singing and dehydration and not enough rest. The only cure is rest, as in no talking, no singing, no nothing, and a lot of water. A lot of water.
Does honey help you?
I don't know. The thing is, I don't know if honey helps. It's I take honey every morning with apple cider and water. The thing about honey apple cider water is that it's a prevention thing.
Yes.
So I guess it must have worked, because I haven't touch everything. So I hope it's worked. But in terms of lubricating the throat, I think if you feel like you're not doing well here, then it's salt water gargling, just to kill bacteria. And honey is for when you have a sore throat and it's sore and you need something thick and slow, like cak ibu dan anak. So you take that
for your throat.
But that's what it's for. It's supposed to be something you can swallow, and it takes a long time to go down. You can feel the
yeah.
But basically, sore throat, it is water. You need water. So a couple of weeks ago, I had one of my something it was swollen. Yeah, it was painful. That was when I was like, nah. 2-3 liters of water a day, and sleep down.
Yeah.
And then it was okay again. But when I was a much younger warthog, I took all that for granted, and just 4 hours sleep, fine, sing New York, or whatever, do whatever. But now I think as someone who's been singing for a while, it's a bit more. Also, it comes with age. So this, as in, I'm a bit older now, so I can't just. So
right.
It's easy, and also not not be careless with my song selection. You know, I would love to sing Christina Aguilera, but I know I can't do it justice. I've got to sing Christina Aguilera my way, which sounds different. Or if I'm gonna do a Whitney Houston song, like,
Oh, but you slay Whitney Houston though. Like I don't think, like, I think you're one of the yeah, like I think you're one of the performers that I've seen that can do Whitney like Whitney. You know,
oh gosh, no lah. I just, I think I
like
just like.
when you sang "I Have Nothing" during Susie, I remember I was like, oh my goodness, like I was tapping Joe. I was like, I was freaking out.
um, yeah, but it's just one of those songs where the crowd goes nuttier than I do. It's just so much fun to see them go nuts. And like it's one of those songs where the crowd, it's a slow song, right? So the crowd, you wouldn't expect the crowd to stop and just like start to vibe with it, but they do. And it's so funny.
They layan.
They layan. So the first time I remember I called it to the band. They thought I was joking. I was like, no, we're doing it. Let's go. It's and I will always love you.
Yes.
Right? And the band's like, are you serious? Like, yeah. I wanna do it. Dish and die. Dish and die.
Dish
And die. That's Dave's joke. But for some reason that song, people love that song.
Yeah.
Of course, a lot of people sing it as in they love each other, but they don't know it's a breakup song. So it's so much fun. I love
True.
it. Guys, it's not a get together song. It's a breakup song.
All right.
By the way, Joe, speaking of that, like a couple of nights in a row, I've been waking up with your song in my head.
Which song?
No one like you, and I can't get you off from my mind. I'm forced to be working with, no one like you. I've been waking up with that song in my head, and I hum it in the kitchen. I'm like,
Thank you. You know, when I wrote that song,
I was like, what's the song about? Huh?
well, I'll tell you after. Anyway, that's gossip session for after. But I meant to write that song for when, like, you know, when people clean the house, they can, you know, clean the house to the song.
I've been doing it, be like,
wipe.
First time I heard it was when you did it in No Black Tie and Michael. Like,
oh,
nice, I love the song. Damn. You know, when I hear another musician perform an original song which they wrote, I get jealous. Damn, I wish I wrote a song like that.
I wish I wrote a song like yours, the one that you showed me at Susie Wong outside at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. Shy. Sure.
Is that gonna be on your album?
I think so. Gosh, it's 3 in the morning. I'd probably let you hear like the whole album before I even knew it. So probably. Most probably, yeah.
Yes. We'll do it.
Man,
you know what we should do? We should all like just have like a singers round, you know, like we each perform our originals. Or
yeah, that was in the cards. I was gonna do that in No Black Tie, but then they're on sabbatical. So I was gonna get me, Raz Puva, you, Najwa. Of course, I haven't approached anybody yet, like Irma and everybody, just to sing each other's songs.
Yeah.
And it'd be so fun to see what happens and how it comes out, you know. So, like,
that would be so cool.
Yeah, because I love, like, Puva writes amazing music. I would love to sing her stuff. And Roz did some really fun stuff. And also, I just want to force Roz to sing some of my original songs. And then I also want to sing your song, and I'm already singing Najwa's songs, and like Bijou is already doing covers and stuff. So I was hoping to have an evening of just like 4 singers singing not just each other's songs but like local female artists as well. Yuna has a song called "Wherever You Go," or "I Wanna Go," which I love. It's such a cool like offbeat, like super simple song. And then CFZ, CFV, CFZ one as well. And it would just been nice to have one of those stuff, one of those nights. So yeah, exactly your idea. It's just like it's a good idea. We should do that.
Right.
We can.
Call the show when we can.
Well, explain the inspiration. We're gonna get the definite censored version of the inspiration. It's censored in mine.
That will be after the show.
Yeah, stick around for the after show and just wait a little while, and we're all gonna turn slightly red in the face and all.
And then everything was still.
Digging.
Okay. we can talk more about this after. I think after we're back to being able to social gather. And yeah, but before we end, can you tell people where to find you on social media?
I am on Instagram under Dasha Logan. I'm on Facebook under Dasha Logan. You can email me at dashalogan@gmail.com. Very lucky because of how old I am. I got the original Dasha Logan title.
Not 1, 2, 3, 4
_ 6259 or anything like that. I had like Dasha. I don't have my MySpace, Dasha Logan. I have a MySpace. I'm not ashamed to admit it. I have a MySpace. I have a LinkedIn. I have a SoundCloud.
I had Friendster.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I had ICQ 46251629 something like that.
I don't watch ICQ.
ICQ, it's like the sound of ICQ, the sound of okay, dude. I have an MSN account.
Yes.
I'm just responding to Shaharisu. See, he must be a young man who's like ICQ. I have an MIRC account where my name is Buffy _ something. I don't know if you know Buffy the Vampire. Okay. So I love Sarah Michelle Gellar. She's my girl. So anyway, social media. I'm on Instagram and Facebook. I'm not yet on TikTok or Snapchat because I don't know how to dance, and
I'm not ready for TikTok. I don't know if I'll ever be ready. Yeah.
I think TikTok is great for now while we are in lockdown.
Mm-hmm.
But once it's over, I'm not sure. I think you and I great on TikTok. I mean, you won't understand when you're older, so you'll understand if you're older. And ICQ's never coming back.
All right. So thank you so much for doing this.
Thanks for having me. Been waiting for you to ask me. After Steve was there, I was like, she's gonna ask me. Oh, interesting that Steve.
So now you can tell him we're doing this online, live. But we hope,
See, he's a good friend, so I'm allowed to tell him.
But we hope to see you perform again live very, very soon after this ends. And, who knows? Maybe we'll have a potluck or something.
Yes, everybody now is starting to cook. On one hand, I'm like, we should potluck. On the other hand, I'm like, guys, I don't eat any of your food. If you got to come to my house with anything, it better be alcohol. And we're going to party.
I now I know how to make bomb smoothies, so I can bring that.
What a bomb? Okay, never mind. Yeah, you tell me later what a bomb smoothie is.
Okay.
A bomb, or there's like pretty amount and it blows up. I don't know.
It can be either bomb good or bomb bad. So, yeah.
Tell what bomb smoothie?
What?
Nothing. Never mind. Don't worry about me.
Okay. Thank you so much for watching. This has been so fun, and we will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.